Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Crow here. We are here with an inside look at one of the new ships from the Year of Hell lockbox. It is available in the Lobby store, and it is called the Zahl Heavy Cruiser. First and foremost, this is a look at the bridge. It's minimal, to say the least, but it's got some cool designs. I mean, it's a lockbox ship. They all have absolutely horrible interiors. Now, let's take a look under the hood. Now, the Zahl is a Tier 6. And it is heavily engineering based, as you can see. It's got the 5 engineering, but it also has tactical as a secondary, so 4, which isn't bad. The trait package is pretty standard. I mean, it's got it's obvious the thing was meant as a tank. Yeah, but this is the big one, the invincible trait. When you're about to die, it gives you incoming healing for both things, plus 50%, and unkillable for 8 seconds. So it has a 2-minute cooldown though. So basically, when you're about to die, you don't die, and you get a buff to healing. So if you can stay alive, so if it takes longer than 2 minutes to kill you, you're invincible, because every 2 minutes that resets, and you get a buff. Now what I'm using on it is this, along with it, the Regenerative Integrity Field from the Kobali Samsar. The lower your hull gets, the bigger the boost to the heal. When you're at 5% hull, it's a huge, huge boost. Then 100% of your outgoing damage gives you healing. So it's a full hull heal. You trigger that, instant full hull. It's like a reverse shield polarity for your hull. Then it also gives you a passive plus 26.6 to hull healing, which is really handy. Here is the console that comes on it. The Pride generator, because it's a rainbow shield. Gives you a nice passive, a bunch of nice passive bonuses. Some shield regen, some maximal shield cap. It's got a kind of a cool ability, and 100% all damage resistance rating, immunity to chronoton, immunity to movement, debuffs. Plus, it's kind of like a feedback pulse thing that when they hit you with energy weapons, it smacks down their cooldowns a little bit, which isn't totally super great. It's like a mini subnuke. It only lasts a few seconds. It's not that useful, but the resistance is nice. It's great for a tank. And I'm set up here for some heavy tanking. Got a couple of neutroniums with the shield healing and the hull point boost. Then I got this that I made and got lucky and got the Res B on, which gives me a crap ton more anti-proton rating and stuff. A good turn rate boost, plus a nice little conductive accelerator, reduces damage to shields, so that keeps me alive a little bit better. Then I have this thing up to Epic, which is a bonus to all healing, and then a 12.5% all damage boost, which is amazing on any build. And of course, Leech, because, yeah, Leech. I'm using the Iconian set because it's absolutely amazing. It's got good heal per second, good damage boosts with the bonuses. I'm using Polaron, Fodor Polarons are currently the best ones I have. Now let's take a look at my skills. Show you the build itself. This isn't my PvP build, this is a PvE build. It can work for PvP, but my PvP build is still the Manasa, the Vador Manasa, and I will not be showing you under the hood of that one. Gotta have some advantages. Now, we are running a Oxtabat build on this. You see you can look at my previous video for how Oxtabat works specifically, but it gives me a bunch of power bonuses while cutting my cooldowns to almost nothing. I'm also running an Oxtabat Drake combination, meaning I'm using the damage control engineers to reduce subsystem or emergency power abilities, which allows me, the Drake builds are basically allows you to run 2 emergency power abilities continuously. So I always have emergency power to weapons 3 up, and I always have emergency power to shields 1 up. The build changes a lot depending on what I'm going into. I always have the rally point marker because it's a park and pound build. I sit in one spot. This one changes, but it's usually overwhelm emitters, which gives a nice heal and drain to teams. I usually use hazard emitters, but I've been known to swap it out for transfer shield strength. I'm not going up against anything that has terribly nasty hull burn. Chemocyte 2 with Beam Fire Wheel 3 because all the aggro. This one I change out a lot. The commander one, I usually use Extend Shields 3 or Reverse Shield Polarity 3, depending on how much I'm going to be taking If I'm going to be taking a whole lot of damage and having trouble staying alive, it's going to be reverse shield polarity. If I'm in kind of like a low tier PvE with friends who are squishy, it's going to be extend shields. DEM can be used, but it doesn't boost my damage terribly much, and this isn't a DPSer build. It parses about 22 to 25k DPS, but with the power creep the way it is, that's still actually kind of low compared to some of the high-end stuff. What makes this ship unique is the... oh, voice crack. Let me show you the buff cycle. Pay attention to the cooldowns. But note that emergency power to weapons 3 is going to come off cooldown in 10 seconds, and this is going to be up in 8. So it'll come off the same time this one's ready again. So I always have the emergency weapon cycle ability. Here, I'll show you the traits in a moment. And it's up again with another emergency weapon cycle. So I always have emergency weapon cycle, and I always have emergency power to weapons 3. Now, here's what the build's based on. Anchored. Now, what does that do? Allow me to show you. You basically gain huge damage buffs while lowering your resistances when stationary. So I sit in one spot and beam fire will everything. It's a park and pound build. I stay alive by spamming the rally point markers, which gives me look at that. Huge hull heals and shield heals for just sitting in one spot, and anybody who comes inside the marker also gets a huge heals. I'm using various other things. I'm not really focusing on any of the defensive ones. I don't need Blaze of Glory because I don't actually die. But things like Elusive and Crippling Fire, this thing is stationary. It does not need defense, so I'm focusing on damage. I like Helmsman just because I like it. But it's damage and some resists, like the one from the engineering R&D. But I sit in one spot and that gives me bonus. Now, the problem with the anchored trait, I see my resistances are at now. Watch what happens when I get moving and the anchored trait gets cancelled. And there you go. Yeah, anchored cuts down your resistances by a lot. That's why I have so many neutroniums and res B things on here, is because I need resists to stay alive with a park and pound. And as the anchored trait builds, resistances go down while damage goes up. How does this build work in PvE? I'll show you. The design for the Zahl is interesting. It's kind of like a chunky, blocky look. I don't hate it. I don't terribly love it. It has kind of a grungy, freighter-y feel. The thing handles like a brick. We'll do a system patrol. I'll show you what the trait does. I'll switch it to advanced because I ain't no bitch. Paint schemes are also very, very basic. Zero customization options, just windows. Now, I did an infected advance the other day and managed to parse 24k DPS, 16 million damage with 2 million healing. See, there's the rally point marker. Actually, let me stop shooting and see if they can kill me. I'll show you what the trait does. Well, actually, let me show you the rainbow shield. See the little chronoton beam smacking their cooldowns. But yeah, that's why I call it the pride generator. It's super fabulous. Like, oh my god. And immune. I hit the Samsar console and back up to just full. So essentially makes me unkillable, because it takes way longer than 2 minutes to get past my heals. Especially when I have reverse shield polarity, which I forgot to put on, but it doesn't matter. Fraps, stop it. Fraps is saying no to me, I don't like it. Stop it, Fraps. But look at my power level. I never have to worry about power. I don't have to worry about frickin' Fraps, though. Jesus, let me get the hell out of here. Anyway, that is the Zahl. All in all, really good ship. I recommend it, especially if you're using Oxbat, Drake, if you're one of those assholes like me. It also would make a very, very good engineering ship. Team healer, tank. The command stuff makes it really good for team support. I still prefer my Astica for damage, but the Zahl's nice for tanking. So I'm going to end it here before Fraps decides to melt my computer.